Hi, my name is Tim.
And my name is Older Tim.
What the hell is
Older,
going on?
wiser, more experienced.
I don't
Ladies,
know where
are you
you're
listening?
going with this? This is getting odd.
What the hell's going on?
It's a good question.
I'm glad I'm Italian. I'm not white.
You kind of are.
Why does it have to be the big chicken? Why does it have to be the big chicken?
Why do you have to say it like that? I was right, and you were racist.
It's Britney, bitch.
I still have a belief that Sasquatch is out there, but that doesn't make me crazy. And you give me that face, and this is my issue with you. You're a questionable person.
This is a podcast where Rick, a Generation Xer, and Tim, a millennial, come together and try to find answers to our changing world.
Break it down with Rick and Tim. All right.
Hi, my name is Rick.
My name is Tim. I see what Rick wanted to make sure that he said his name first. It's very important. Very important to him. But then I'll let him go first because he's doing all the work.
And this is
Break It Down
with
Rick and Tim. There we are. Here we are. And here we are on this interesting day. Rick, where do you get your information?
MSNBC.
Okay, that's a space. That's a place.
Twitter.
Twitter, okay.
TikTok.
The TikTok. What specifically on Twitter? Just like people, randos?
And reporters.
Okay, certain reporters from where?
All over.
All over the place.
Rooters, all of them.
Okay, so
all reporters
so I hear
are on
rooters.
Twitter.
I hear some of these. So
Routers, rooters, how do you say it?
I think it's rooters. Or we'll probably butcher it. Who knows? How do you check to make sure that your source is true, like they're telling you the truth?
Well, I like to compare
fact
multiple news agencies. I'll look at what CNN is saying. I try not to look at Fox News because I feel like I lose brain cells when I do. Okay.
Oh, did I show you that commercial I saw the other day?
What commercial?
I thought I sent you a picture. Fox. I was over at my mother-in-law's.
You did send something.
Check it out. And I was at my mother-in-law's, and they were watching Fox News. God bless them. And this
about Relaxium.
Yeah, this commercial comes on for Relaxium.
Stop being afraid.
Yeah, it says it flashes on the screen. Don't be afraid. We'll put this up. Relaxium.com. But it's ridiculous.
I'm Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas and 2016 presidential candidate. Like many of you, I've struggled to get a good night's sleep for most of my adult life. I wasted at least 2 hours a day of my life tossing and turning, trying to shut my mind down. Until about 2 years ago, that's when I saw an ad on TV for Relaxium Sleep. I decided to order it, and it literally changed my life.
If you're stressed out from Fox News, take Relaxium so you can absorb more Fox News. I stopped. I had to pause it, go back so I could take a picture and send it to you. And then I had to point it out to my brother-in-law. And I was just like, bro, you need some Relaxium.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's terrible.
Today is historical, not as big as what happened to Donald Trump with the indictment, but it is historical in regards to accountability with our news sources and journalism.
Right. And I want to go back real quick to how you get your news because it follows what I tell my students, and it's very important. It's a very easy measure to kind of tell if a story has merit or not. And it's to compare it to your top 5 news sources. So the way I explain it is you can have your side news stories and stuff, like your small little local news places, but the big news places, they're gonna run the most important, most relevant stories to everybody, right? So if there's a major break in the news, it's gonna filter its way up to the top real quick. So when somebody puts out a news story, the first thing, the easiest thing you can do is just take your top 5 and compare and see if at least 3 of them are running it.
Yes.
Then it's probably true. Now, in the case of one running it, and this is again because I don't watch Fox News a lot.
Oh, I don't.
I obviously not. I see them, and sometimes I'll take a look and see what they're like focusing on, just because I want to try to get multiple perspectives because I have to teach multiple perspectives. But again, it always comes down to them and me comparing what they're saying to the other news people like ABC, NBC, CBS. I do a little NPR and stuff like that. It seems to always be Fox News. And today we got to it's been a process of pulling back the curtain a little bit on Fox News.
Or
and peeking behind the curtain and realizing that a lot of them just don't have any pants on.
I think the curtain is set on fire, actually.
Kind of. You're right. And so, but the thing is, like, what it comes down to is there was, and it would have been interesting if it would have went to trial, right? We would have revealed so much more. But at the end of the day, Dominion settled. And they settled for like $700 million, which in retrospect isn't that much because Fox News makes a lot of money. But what we're looking at here is with that case, did it reveal Fox News and their shenanigans? And I think the answer is yes, it did. Yes. But here's the crazy part. Because it didn't go to trial and because it settled, and because Fox News put out that statement that was kind of ambiguous on purpose, saying that some of the Dominion claims were false, and agreeing that they're not going to have their people testify and whatnot, because they did that, their viewers can still listen to Fox News and feel at ease. But the reality is that they were lied to, like, flat out. And whenever we have that situation, or at least whenever I find that situation from somebody that I trust, like the news that I trust, I always look to see if they, not necessarily, I wouldn't say walk it back, but come out and take accountability for their thing. And that's something Fox News doesn't do. And we see that in this case because none of their people are coming out to say, hey, what I did was wrong. And so I think we should go through the 20 most specific broadcasts that some of these Fox News people put out that reveal what they told their viewers, because here's what the reality is. They should come out and do this themselves, because at the end of the day, it's not fair to their viewers to lie to them and mislead them and then say, oh, well, okay, so maybe some of our stories were false, but we're still good and we still have integrity. Because what it's telling them is, look, you have to take us at face value now after we lied to you. And in reality, what they should, I say in reality a lot, what they should do, period, is show their viewers exactly what they did wrong so that their viewers don't get duped again. That's what they need to do.
Trump is not fighting for you. You are his human shields, and you always have been. And it's a shame, because I'm not sure I would agree with any of you politically, but you deserve better.
They need to clean house if they want the trust of their viewership back. But going back to beliefs versus like fact, a lot of people who follow Fox News follow it as if it's a religion or a belief system. Rictor, say something. I'm rambling.
They can't because of Smartmatic.
Well, they can't because of Smartmatic because they're under litigation. But also, let's go back to one of the reasons why they can't also go on and say, hey, what we're saying is wrong, or call out these people in real time. And it goes back to Tucker Carlson's text messages. what we got is kind of a peek behind the curtain with Tucker Carlson and his text. I think it was to Sean Hannity, right? Because they were putting out these lies about Dominion voting conspiracy theories, and one of the producers or somebody at Fox News fact checked them and put out a tweet, and it said, and here later that night, Carlson pointed to Hannity to a tweet by Fox News, blah blah blah. Fact check, and this is what he wrote. He said, "Please get her fired. Seriously, what the I'm actually shocked. It needs to stop immediately, like tonight. It's measurably hurting the company. The stock price is down. No, not a joke." Which is ridiculous because, like, again, it's not hurting the viewers. It's hurting the company. And so it goes back to the brand, right? What's Fox News' brand? Well, at that time, their brand was to push these conspiracy theories because their brand was Trump.
The Fox reporter was named Jackie Heinrich, and this is what she said. "There is no evidence that any voting system deleted or lost votes, changed votes, or was in any way compromised. If only they listened to her, they would not have had this blow up in their face."
Well, but again, at the time, their brand was Trump because he was the one that was getting all the attention. He was getting all the ratings, and they could have him on TV, and people would just tune in. And Fox News, you can imagine the executives that were just like, hell yeah. And these poor news anchors that were just like, what? We have to just let him be on our show and ramble for an hour?
It would continue on into the next show.
And it would continue on into the next show. And he would just spend his presidency just rambling on Fox News. And I remember the Fox News would just stare at the camera. And they'd just like be staring because he'd be in the background of the noise and they'd just be in his ears and he'd just be like, and they'd just be like, "Meh." And it was always funny to watch them cut him off.
With these 20 examples where Fox News is liable,
right?
There's one Fox News host that's in the majority of these who I think is in serious trouble.
Lou Dobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he kind of had Sidney Powell on a lot. I think that he maybe enjoyed her company.
No, for people watching and listening who don't know who she was, she is still a lawyer.
She's still a lawyer.
And she was removed from the Trump presidential campaign of Inner Circle people in November of 2020. And then she goes on Fox News, probably trying to get back into Trump's good graces again by saying all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And God, just the absurdity of it all.
Yeah. So let's just take a look at these real quick. We'll probably go through these pretty quickly. We don't need to spend a whole ton of time on these. Let's just see what they lied about here.
What was the first one?
The first one, the broadcast, Sunday morning futures on November 8th, 2020. What they alleged, election fraud and algorithm flips. Key false quote, Sydney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that, Bartimolo said.
Welcome back. I'm back with Sidney Powell, who is part of President Trump's legal team in contesting this election. Sidney, we talked about the Dominion software. I know that there were voting irregularities. Tell me about that.
That's to put it mildly. The computer glitches could not and should not have happened at all. That is where the fraud took place, where they were flipping votes in the computer system or adding votes that did not exist. We need an audit of all of the computer systems that played any role in this fraud whatsoever. And, Joe Biden had it right. He said that he had the biggest voter fraud organization ever, and he didn't need people's votes now. He would need people later. They had this all planned, Maria. They had the algorithms. They had the paper ballots waiting to be inserted if and when needed. And notably, President Trump's vote in the blue states went up enormously. That's when they had to stop the vote count and go in and replace votes for Biden and take away Trump votes.
What they did was they took, there's two ways you vote. Either on paper, with pencil and paper. That's how I do it here in the state of Oregon. It's fantastic. That's how you do it. Or you go in and you vote on a machine in some states.
In 2020, Rick voted for Joe Biden electronically in Las Vegas before moving to Oregon. He felt that it was the most important election in his lifetime to get rid of that racist-in-chief, Donald Trump, who was the worst president in the history of the United States.
And so they went after the machines because it's easy just to say, hey, they just took the votes because they're not physical, they're digital. They can do whatever they want with them. It's easy to say they manipulated it.
Yeah,
manipulated it. I can't talk.
They could say they were compromised.
Sure. Easy. It's an easy target. So, and it gets deeper. That's the thing. So right there, they planted the seed. These digital things. And I remember people were saying things like, yeah, my mom came over and she was like, when she voted, she like, I saw an antenna on the side of the machine and I just knew that they were doing stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, this might be an antenna on the side of a machine. That makes sense. Doesn't say that somebody's hacking into it. That just says there's an antenna. Probably because these things, have some wireless capability and stuff like that. Doesn't mean that it's hackable.
So for those of you that are watching and listening, we're going to put in the body of this video on YouTube the link for you to go and click. And you could read all of these 20 individual cases.
Where did you get this list?
You'll find out in the body of the show's description.
Oh, okay. Is it a reputable source?
CNN.
Oh, look at that. Okay, CNN is a little left-leaning and
Not
they're
anymore.
a little opinionated,
Not
but yeah,
anymore.
not anymore. They're kind of moving back to the center.
So we established that Sidney Powell and Lou Dobbs are heavily involved.
Right.
Multiple
Dominion.
examples.
Dominion. Okay, so here's the thing. So that was Sidney Powell. Then broadcast number 2, Lou Dobbs interviews Rudy Giuliani. So here we go. We've begun. And this is November 12th, 2020. So, this is a couple days later. What they allege, election fraud and Venezuela ties. This is the best. So we're using a foreign company that is owned by Venezuelans who are close to Hugo Chavez, are now close to Nicolas Maduro, have a history. They were founded as a company to fix elections. They have a terrible record and they are extremely hackable, Giuliani said. And I tried to read that as like verbatim as I could, but I did not have enough alcohol.
You just got me thinking about this. Look at the two difference in dates. The first one was November 8th, the first time.
Yep.
The second one was what? November what?
12th.
8, 9, 10, 11. So there was 4 days in between. So here's what that news station did. That corporation. They have the big interview, the first one.
Yep.
And then for the next few days, they would always refer back to that interview. Sidney Powell was on, and this is what she said.
Yes.
So they're just reinforcing.
Right, exactly.
And now, 4 days later, we now have Rudy Giuliani,
America's mayor.
Yes.
Did I steal your line?
That's okay. But this is how people get so brainwashed and gaslit.
To be fair, I gave it to you earlier. I'm just being an ass.
Who wrote the 9/11 book here?
That's true. You did. And you can buy his book at this link.
Plug in. So, yeah.
Nice.
And he is in the book. And I had to quote him exactly, word for word, verbatim, what he was saying in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
And in 2001, Giuliani was fantastic.
He was.
But you know what? Anakin Skywalker was fantastic. And look what he turned into.
It's true.
But there's nothing redeemable about Rudy Giuliani except farts caught on camera and
oh my god,
dripping
that's right.
hairdo.
That
color.
is amazing. He's just he's like a clown.
Of order. The answer that I gave you is they didn't bother to interview a single witness. Just like you, they don't want to know the truth. Well, you probably know the truth.
I bet he smells like wet, moldy cigarette farts.
I am just not going to think about that. And I'm going to go to broadcast number 3. Again, Lou Dobbs interviews Sidney Powell. So Lou Dobbs kind of leading the charge here. So Lou Dobbs interviews Sidney Powell, and this is November 13th. So this is the next day. Election fraud, algorithms, Venezuela ties, kickbacks.
Let's start with Dominion.
a straight out disavowal of any claim of fraud against the company, its software or machines. Your reaction?
Well, I can hardly wait to put forth all the evidence we have collected on Dominion, starting with the fact it was created to produce altered voting results in Venezuela.
So basically he's saying Dominion's coming out and saying there's no fraud. And then he's saying, what's your reaction? So he's giving her the platform to say whatever she wants about this. Oh, and here we go. Broadcast number 4, tweet from Dobbs. Lou Dobbs tweet. And this was on May 14th. And he says, read all about Dominion and Smartmatic voting companies, and you'll soon understand how pervasive the Democratic electoral fraud is and why there's no way in the world the 2020 presidential election was either free or fair. So he's sowing the seeds of disinformation and doubt in our American democracy.
Be careful what you tweet.
And Rudy Giuliani says, did you know a foreign company, and this is on the tweet, Dominion, all caps, was counting our vote in Michigan, Arizona, and Georgia and other states, but it was a front for Smartmatic, again, all caps. Smartmatic's the next lawsuit.
No, where's Smartmatic? It's in UK.
It's in the UK, and the British. And
they're suing for over 2.7
they don't lie you.
billion. That's a good impression.
Thanks. Spent a lot of time around British people.
Is that very Cockney?
I don't know. But it was a front for Smartmatic. I have to say it now with the Smartmatic. Who was really doing the computing. Look up Smartmatic and tweet me what you think. It will all come out. Saying, okay, again, we've got stuff. It's always we've got the stuff. We've got the stuff, man. Just wait. We've got it. It's there.
Just like Trump's medical health plan.
Broadcast 5, Janine Pirro. Ooh, my favorite. Interviews Sidney Powell. Fox and Friends Sunday, November 15th. So we're not that far in. They're starting. Everybody's just going at it now. Election fraud, algorithm flips, Venezuela ties, kickbacks was the alleged. And here's the key false quote. Sidney Powell is also talking about potential kickbacks that government officials who were asked to use Dominion actually also enjoyed benefits to their families, Bartimolo said. We're going to talk about that coming up as well. Okay, there we go. Was it Bartimolo or on here it says Janine Pirro, Sidney Powell? I don't know. But there's another, again, we're looking at this and saying, okay, what are they doing? They're sowing the seeds, and it's November 15th, and there still is no concrete evidence. And when did this start? Was the first one? November 8th. So how many days has it been, and they haven't fact-checked themselves? Well, you look that up. I'm going to do Broadcast 7. Maria Bartimolo interviews Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. Oh, boy, the broadcast. Sunday Morning Futures. On November 15th, 2020. What they allege, election fraud, algorithm flips, Venezuela ties, kickbacks, blah, blah, blah. False quote. We have sworn witness testimony of why the software was designed. It was designed to rig elections. We have so much evidence. I feel like it's coming in through the fire hose, Powell said. So she's again saying we've got sworn evidence, testimony, but again, here is no proof. We just have it.
Why do they keep
sharing it?
Why do they keep bringing up Venezuela?
Because Venezuela is like an enemy of ours, and I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Here's Fox News' claim.
What's their
family
claim?
Of the late Venezuelan president
Hugo
Chavez owns 28% of the election technology company Dominion.
That's what
Systems.
It was. Yeah,
that's the claim.
That's the claim.
Here is the AP News assessment. False. Dominion has been majority owned since 2018 by Staples Street Capital, a New York private equity firm. The company is privately held and does not disclose its financials, but Dominion CEO John Poulos said in an April letter to the House Committee on Administration that no investor beside himself or Staple Street Capital owns more than 5% stake. Dominion does not have any ties to Venezuela, according to Eddie Perez, a voting technology expert at the OSET Institute, a nonpartisan election technology research and development nonprofit.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's been looked into by more than enough people to prove that it was false. But at the same time, we're on November 15th, and we're again talking about Dominion and such. Lou Dobbs tonight.
Joining us now by phone, Sidney Powell, a member of President Trump's legal team. She is also General Michael Flynn's attorney, former federal prosecutor, best-selling author, one of the country's most prominent appellate attorneys. Sidney, good to have you with us. Dominion voting system seems to be figuring larger and larger in the interest of your legal team. And what is the latest?
Oh, definitely, Lou. I've just gotten some stunning evidence from a firsthand witness, a high-ranking military officer who was present when Smartmatic was designed in a way that and I'm going to just read you some of these statements, if you don't mind, so I get them exactly right.
From the affidavit, Smartmatic was designed in a way that the system could change the vote for each voter without being detected. Powell also incorrectly claimed that Smartmatic owns Dominion. So, again, she's claiming she has firsthand evidence, which firsthand evidence is direct from the source, right? So she talked to somebody who was there, which means that she doesn't have firsthand evidence, technically. She now has secondhand evidence. So she's given us secondhand evidence that she has firsthand evidence. Her firsthand evidence is secondhand evidence. So basically, she didn't get firsthand evidence. She now has secondhand evidence. So we're in November 12th. And so that was when they fact-checked themselves finally. That was 6 days later. Somebody came out finally from Fox News and said, okay, hold up. We got to make sure we don't screw ourselves here. And Tucker Carlson was like, holy shit, somebody gag her.
It's bad for business.
It's bad for business because we're about to jump on this Dominion train, and here we go. So, whatever, and we're on the 15th, we got on the 16th, now the Lou Dobbs on the 18th. He interviews Giuliani. But I mean, just the mere fact that we have a foreign country, we had this in a foreign country done by friends of an enemy of the United States. Maduro is outrageous and has to stop immediately, Giuliani. So he's calling it outrageous, and we need to put a stop to something that is currently happening going on. So sowing, again, this idea of like, what's the word for it? Like imminent danger, right? It needs to stop now because it's killing us. And we continue. Lou Dobbs interviews Sidney Powell again. They're talking about Dominion voting systems. Jeanine Pirro monologue on the 21st. The president's lawyers alleging a company called Dominion, which says it started in Venezuela with Cuban money. It's just all bullshit, backdoor. So they're making it seem like it's like a Mission Impossible thing that they did, and they're just giving it way too much credit. Broadcast 13, Dobbs interviewed Powell again. So again, they're keeping this crazy lady on here that's sowing these seeds about Dominion and making it sound like a real thing, and it just keeps going and going. And it was all the way to, we're not going to read these all because nobody wants to sit here and listen to us do that. All the way to, when was the last one here? Fox and Friends, December 12th. We have a machine, the Dominion machine, that's as filled with holes as Swiss cheese and was developed to steal elections and being used in the state that we are involved, says Giuliani. Oh, and then this is the best one. January 26th, 2021. How far off is that we've gone now? Tucker Carlson interviews Mike Lindell.
The Pillow Man.
Every outlet in the country, they go, Mike Lindell, there's no evidence, and he's making fraudulent statements. No, I have the evidence. I dare people to put it on. I dare Dominion to sue me because then it will get out there faster. So this is, they don't want to talk about it, Lindell said. No, they don't, Carlson said, seemingly to agree. It's just insanity. Like, what was that gibberish? Again, we're months from their first claim, from their fact check, and they're putting on these people that are pushing the same fraudulent thing. So no wonder Dominion was pissed. Because here's their company,
yes,
and all of a sudden, they're America's number one enemy. It's insane.
How much did they settle for today?
$700 and some odd $million.
And what are the quarterly profits that Fox makes?
Oh, I think we looked this up earlier. It was $4.6 billion.
So this is not even a black eye.
No, but again, it's a precedent. It's, well, I mean, some people are saying it's not a precedent, but what it is it is. It's the news outlet, a huge news company being held accountable for what they did wrong, which hasn't happened.
Fox News has failed its listeners.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what we're showing them here. Like, look at how far they took you. They took you all the way, if you're a Fox News listener, from November 8th all the way, according to this, to January of the next year. And they absolutely knew they were pushing lies. And what they're not doing is saying, here's what we did. Sorry about it. Let's break it down so that you don't get fooled again. And the reality of it is none of these people ever had any evidence whatsoever that they could show. And that's the key thing, because they always said they had evidence, right? We have evidence. I have $1 bajillion in my mattress. It's there.
There's more evidence of me being heterosexual than Dominion.
That's actually true.
Compromised machines.
Yeah, which is insane. And like, I could present that evidence if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, if we ever went like crazy, Handmaid's Tale, and they were like, "You tell us about your neighbor Rictor. Is he gay?" I'd be like, "Nah, look at these pictures." Yeah. Ta-da! It's good that you have those.
Yeah, because when they come knocking on my door when DeSantis is president,
right?
I'm straight. Trump,
Jumbo.
Yeah, Jimbo.
Jumbo's your stripper name.
Yeah.
Same character.
And now it's time to let's quiz Tim.
Oh boy, let's do this.
About Dominion.
Oh boy. Okay, so I don't get any of that. Okay, so this is on par with what we're doing here. I like this. Okay.
Tim.
Rick.
What is the Dominion?
What do you mean, the Dominion?
What is the Dominion?
The Dominion is a voting machine.
The Dominion was a major theocratic state in the Gamma Quadrant. Technologically advanced and millennia old, the Dominion was an interstellar oligarchy founded under the absolute rule of a group of changelings, known as the Founders, whose will was carried out by the Vorta and the Jem'Hadar.
Jesus.
Starfleet attempted genocide with them, but the good Dr. Bashir on Deep Space Nine saved their species from genetic extinction.
Oh, there you go.
That is the Dominion.
I do not have enough room in my ass for that.
Well, we'll see what happens after the show.
Oh my God, nope.
What was today's headline on Fox News, Tim?
I'm going to say their headline on Fox News was probably whatever's happening in New York with the Trump prosecutor.
We have 3 samples for you to choose from.
Oh, okay.
We're going to put them on the screen.
Let's take a look. Let me see them right here.
1, 2, and 3.
Elon Musk reveals to Tucker Carlson whether he's seen evidence of alien life. American citizens nabbed by feds for allegedly running secret Chinese police station in New York City, which I think is a real thing. President Joe Biden makes major gaffe during remarks in town devastated by tornado.
Which one
was the
was
real
the
one?
day that every single news outlet was reporting on the defamation case that Fox News paid out of court for?
I am going to say the Joe Biden one. No.
You get one more choice.
Okay. This one in the middle just sounds crazy. And then look, it's got the tabloid looks right here down below. I just can't choose that one, but I know that one's going to be the right one. So I'm going to say that it's this one. Elon Musk reveals he's seen evidence of alien life.
You're slurring your words.
I can't talk. It's late in the day. I've been teaching all day.
So you think today's headline on Fox News is Elon Musk?
No, I think it's the middle one. I think the American citizen is nabbed by the feds for allegedly running a secret Chinese police station in New York City. And the reason why I say that is because I think that actually happened. Okay. But that might be old news at the same time. So I don't know. Does Elon Musk think that he has seen alien life?
Are you ready to see what the cover story
It's
is right now?
probably
on
Elon
Fox?
Musk. I'm going to be pissed. Oh, look at that. Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, whether he's seen alien. Oh, yeah, that's important. Well, of course, they're not going to talk about it.
Because of Smartmatica.
Right, they can't. There's ongoing litigation.
That was fun. I like that.
Okay, that was fun, yeah.
Timothy.
Rictor.
What year was Fox News launched?
I don't know, a long time ago. When was TV invented? I'm going to say in the 1950s.
You're
1970. I don't know.
What is Fox News on?
Cable. But they weren't like local Fox for a while because they have like local Fox channels.
1996.
I'm way off. Okay.
Who created Fox News and why?
Rupert Murdoch. Spread his conservative ideals throughout the United States.
Excellent. Yes. He's an Australian media magnate, businessman, and investor.
Money, 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 money. It's that part of the United States, right? Like I said, it's the economy over the people.
Fox News was intended to be an alternative to the perceived liberal bias of other news networks. It quickly gained a reputation for its conservative commentary and hosts such as Bill O'Reilly, oh, I hate him, and Sean Hannity, who often took strong positions on political issues and offered an opinionated analysis of the news.
Okay.
Tim.
Rick.
Is Fox News affiliated with 20th Century Fox Films?
No.
Fox News and 20th Century Fox Films were both owned by the same parent company, News Corporation.
There we go, News Corp.
Until 2013. In that year, News Corp was split into two separate companies. 21st Century Fox, which retained ownership of the entertainment assets, such as 20th Century Fox Films, and News Corp, which retained ownership of the news assets, including Fox News.
There we go.
So the big split was in 2013.
Okay. So at one point they were.
Right. In 2019, just around the corner, 21st Century Fox was acquired by what major motion picture company?
Disney.
Yay! Yes, I was going to give you a hint. Hi, everybody.
Oh, God, that would have given it away.
And the company's film and television assets were merged into Disney's media and entertainment empire. As a result, there is no longer any direct affiliation between Fox News and 20th Century Fox Films, although they were once both part of the same corporate family. Does Disney share the same values as Rupert Murdoch?
No.
They have different values and political leanings.
Yeah.
Why was Diamond and Silk, the YouTube influencers for the right, fired/removed from Fox News in 2020? They were promoting conspiracy theories about COVID-19.
Okay, so Fox News wised up a little bit.
They were making claims about cell towers. Remember?
5G. 5G is activating I think it was something about like the bats. And then I don't know what it was.
It was about the cell towers. Yeah. It's just
unbelievable.
There's one more.
Oh, give me one more.
How much money does Fox News make a quarter of the year?
Oh, we talked about this earlier. $4.6 billion. So to wrap this up, we are gonna do a trigger Rictor. Now, you showed me that headline earlier. So the question here, Rictor, Elon Musk. Need I say more? Go ahead.
In any professional environment, if he was an employee, he would be fired.
Mm-hmm.
He will probably go down in history as someone who is batshit like Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
He's done some good, but at the same time, it goes against what he's been doing with Twitter and has turned that into a complete show.
Right. So tell me about what he's done to Twitter, Rictor.
I am emotionally attached to Twitter because I've been on that platform for over 10 years. I would go to it for my news because you would see the news on Twitter before you would see it on the major news channels.
Right. Well, but you'd have to filter it.
But it's there before it was
there.
Before you get the notification.
Right.
Major entertainment industries, music, television, movies, authors, podcasters, everybody, we're all on there pushing our product.
Right. It is a platform for exposure.
And when he purchased it for $40 billion, right?
Yeah, it was $41 billion or something. He did it because he was going through and then he wanted to pull out of the deal, but the government was like, nope, you agreed to it. You initiated the deal. You got to go.
He's impulsive.
Uh-huh.
He is surrounded by people that can't pull him back. He is surrounded by yes men because they want that proximity. They want that money. It's intoxicating.
And look at where that has got Elon. He is about to launch a spaceship.
Goody.
Right? So it goes back to this whole thing, right? And this is the where you and I differ, and this is why I like this trigger. Because like I get it. I think that he has gone way out of his lane. He should have stuck with the technology thing because that was his lane. He is, an engineer kind of thing. And so he was moving us forward. He brought the electric car into the world basically again and made it cool and exciting. And now everybody's making an electric car and we're doing better for our environment. He brought in Starlink, and that's been proven pretty cool in certain situations when it's used properly. He launched those rockets. He brought up the private sector into the thing, and you are just stewing in your anger right now. Because here's the thing. He made that mistake. He was like, I am a genius, so I can do whatever. And I'm going to just be impulsive with my money, and because I have it, and say, I'm just going to purchase the social media that is not going along with the stupid things I'm saying, and it is censoring people who are spreading lies, misinformation, and hurting people. And I am going to decide. I'm going to play God with everybody's social media. And he did.
1 minute, he was doing something amazingly altruistic with Ukraine by providing them the internet with Starlink.
Right.
Then something happened. And then he pulls that away from them.
Sure. Because he has that power. And in his mind... Why?
Who got in his ear and in who got in his pocket, possibly, I allege, provided him money Putin?
I don't
Trump?
know. So
Somebody.
again, what you're doing is you're creating a conspiracy theory because we don't know. We're speculating. Now, he might have some shady business dealings, sure. But I don't know about that, and I'm not going to go on here and state that he does. But I will say this. I go back to what I initially said. He is way out of his lane here. What he's doing in Twitter is... it's wrong. Because like you said, everybody was built their brands on Twitter. Did you find what you're looking for? God, you're as bad as my students. Holy
Crikey dingo.
When Russia first invaded its western neighbor in 2022, Elon Musk responded to an appeal for help from Ukraine's Vice Prime Minister Mikhail Fedorov.
Indeed, he did.
By generously dispatching 20,000 SpaceX Starlink terminals to the country.
Uh-huh.
Since then, Vladimir Putin's forces have relentlessly targeted Ukraine's telecommunications infrastructure with missile strikes. This has caused Kyiv to rely on SpaceX's technology as a source of uninterrupted, independent, and secure internet access, enabling lines of communication to remain open with its troops on the front line of the conflict in the south and in the east.
Okay,
which we knew for
this.
their freedom.
Yes, we know this. So what's your point? Where did it go wrong?
Mr. Musk acknowledged its vital role in a tweet of his own from January 31st.
Right, he did. We know
which he
this.
also expressed discomfort about the Ukrainian military using the service to fly drones carrying anti-tank grenades over Russian positions. He said he would not allow the practice to continue.
Right, so what he was saying is, look, you guys can use it to communicate, but I don't want you guys using it to kill people. Which I think is a fair thing because then he's providing a means to a lethal service, but at the same time, like it's community. I get what he's saying in there, but I don't know if I agree with it or not because I haven't thought about it too much.
Is the mother God?
Okay. Here we go.
Did he have the foresight to put that in the fine print when he gave this to Ukraine?
No, of course not.
Him, he's not God.
Well, the United States military did. Like he's what he's doing is he's limiting the use of the tool that he's giving them, saying, "Look, this is a means of communication, not a means of killing." The United States did something similar with our missiles and such. They programmed the equipment to not be able to fire into Russian territory. Right? So, yes, it's frustrating because he has the power to do that. And I think you're more angry at the fact that he has the power to do it and that he's exercising that power and maybe not being so careful with it as the U.S. military is. I just think you're angry at all the power he has and how he f***ed Twitter. Because he did. Twitter's kind of a joke. I honestly, I don't use my Twitter handle, but here it is, at Tim Breaks It Down. And you can follow Rick at
Rictor _Riolo.
I think we triggered Rictor. What else we got, Rictor? What's coming out?
I'm trying to find the current. This is as of March 9th, just last month. Limits on Ukraine's use of Starlink for war operations is a lesson for U.S. military. General Dickinson says a shared understanding is needed between commercial providers and their customers.
Exactly. Well, because, and here's the thing, like, it goes with any commercial provider because, like, companies were selling their stuff to the Russians, not realizing that they were, going to be going to war all of a sudden. And you look at some of these companies that Coca-Cola took them a while to get out and such like that. So it's like, I think you just hate the man here because of what he did to Twitter.
He has allowed his political views to interfere in their business.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
And he has that right.
Sure, it's America.
Him, he's stupid. He's no smarter than that Neanderthal Joe Rogan.
You're gonna have fun editing yourself here. This is a lot. Yeah. Yeah, he's an interesting character. You have a real big love-hate relationship with him, and right now, Rick really hates him.
He's stupid. He's not smart. He has smart people behind him. He has investors behind him.
Well, I think you're right, and I think he thinks that he
is God.
Yeah. I mean, he wants to be Tony Stark, but the problem is, again, like he took that turn into the politics and such, and it's just not a good look for him. And he took a turn into the, going into the whole, I'm just going to take control of everybody's social media thing.
Someone that powerful should not be that impulsive. He doesn't think about what his actions are going to do to him and his company. When Dipshit was on the
he doesn't. He puts out tweets and all these stupid things that trash his company's stock and all this stuff. And he's been this way since the beginning.
The first red flag I saw with that stupid motherfucker was when he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and he's all smoking pot and getting high.
Yeah.
And then what happened to Tesla?
Oh, their stock tanked.
Stupid mother.
Crikey dingo.
You're creating this exciting innovation of an electrical car, and you're going on a podcast for millions of people to see you. And he has the right to do whatever he wants, of course. But at the same time, look what's happening to his product and to the potential of great change.
Right. So, but we also have to understand too that like he understands, how money works. It's fluid, right? It's not necessarily a solid thing. So, sure, I'm going to go on the Joe Rogan podcast and I'm going to tank my stock, but give it a couple weeks, it'll go back up. Right? It's not like he's gonna do permanent damage.
So he doesn't respect the very thing that has given him power to be an absolute idiot in front of the camera.
Because think of it like a sloshing bowl, right? And he just dips into the water and pulls up a little bit of it at a time, and he sloshes around. He spills a lot of it out, right? And then but he's good at dipping back in and getting more water and sloshing it about. And sometimes he can, slosh it about and pick up more water as he goes. And he just, he's good at sloshing shit about. And that's what he's done. And he's sending a rocket to space.
What breaks my heart, and I'm being very serious here.
I know you're being very serious. I firmly believe you hate this man.
He was on the road to becoming the greatest philanthropist.
Oh,
and he has shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, because he wants to appeal to, Gen Zers, and he wants to be cool and, taking over everybody's social media account and controlling what's what and being like, I'm going to be the white horseman of freedom here. And in reality, he's put a hood over his outfit and become that kind of white horseman, if you know what I'm talking about.
I would like to see him be taken down.
That is insanity.
No.
I would not.
Yes. Goodbye.
I think that is a terrible outlook.
Someone else should take a spot that has
more
self-control.
I think that someone should be innovative and do a better job than he has and be more of an inspiration to people. But, I mean, we live in the world of, the American dream.
I think Kathleen Kennedy, who took over Star Wars, should take over Twitter and Tesla and all of Musk Enterprises.
A lot of avenues to enter from. So I'd say we successfully. So I would say we've successfully triggered Rictor. He does not have a good relationship with Elon Musk. Triggered?
Yes. I don't like him.
I can tell.
I feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for his kids.
I don't know much about that. I just know that he is surrounded by sycophants and the wrong people.
I don't know that.
Of course he is. Dude. That's a good idea. Go on the Joe Rogan podcast and tank your stock by smoking pot and coming off as a fool.
I don't necessarily think that anybody around him is saying that's a good idea. I just think that he doesn't listen to anybody. He doesn't care. He's like Trump, right? He's just his own personality, and it's like, whatever you say to me, I mean, I'm just going to be like, man. If I don't like what you say, then I'm going to be like, man. And so people are just like, well, we're just not going to tell him.
Well, he will eventually die. His money won't save him in the end. Didn't save Howard Hughes. Didn't save my parents. Didn't save Adolf Hitler. Didn't save Augustus Caesar.
I like how you compare your parents and Adolf Hitler in the same comparisons.
Money didn't save Gloria Vanderbilt. You know, all these rich people. At the end of the day, they're taking a dump just like we are. The only difference is their toilet paper is money and
and people's lives.
Yeah. So,
well, join us next time on Break It Down with Rick and Tim. God damn. Still triggered, that one. Woo!
Okay, wait, before we leave.
Okay.
Before you walk away.
I have to go to sleep. I'm tired. I have to get up early tomorrow. Every day.
Who in the media spotlight gets you just as triggered as Musk does for me? There has to be someone that just makes your head spin around.
Well, I mean, for me, for a while, it was Rush Limbaugh. I just couldn't stand him.
I am so glad that old woman is dead.
Right.
Oh, God.
Right.
Him celebrating people dying of AIDS. What a horrible, horrible man.
Right. The thing, though, is that with all these people, everybody I hate, there's always a downfall to them that just, shows their true colors. And like with him, it was like when he was all about, I'm addicted to pills. That whole thing. It was hilarious. It just it put him in perspective, and you're just like, but at the same time, that was a whole different, like, that's addiction and having that outlook now. But at the same time, like, it showed his vulnerability, and that helped.
He was cruel.
He was very cruel. He was an awful person.
Evil.
Right.
No, I don't think Musk is cruel and evil in that category.
No. But who else triggers me? I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, I'm glad he's dead. I have a whole
Rush
list of
Limbaugh's
people
dead.
that need to follow suit.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll think about that for next time. Who triggers me? Let's trigger Tim.
Yeah, for season 2, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
We'll swap.
Let's quiz Rictor.
I'll quiz Rictor and we'll trigger Tim.
Yeah.
Let's trigger Tim. Here we go.
Awesome.
All right.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate Musk.
Yeah, I know you do. It was great.